Actually, Kyle, underwent perhaps as many as 20 different operations.
He was very ill. He was in our intensive care unit. He obviously had suffered some pretty dramatic injuries downrange.
They showed the medical CT images of his injuries on the screen and showed how his mandible had fractured into multiple pieces, had lost all of his lower teeth.
Kyle literally was wounded from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet.
His heart had stopped. He had undergone massive resuscitation. He had injuries consistent with a grenade blast.
Essentially, nobody survives a grenade blast when you are literally on top of the grenade when it goes off.
It's kind of overwhelming to see the injuries.
His kind of head, neck, upper extremities, chest, and even his legs. So he was very ill on the ventilator in the intensive care unit.
His mandible had been shattered into multiple pieces. It was more like a piece of shattered glass than anything else.
His heart had stopped, his lungs had stopped. The young man was essentially dead.
He was pretty critical when he came, but he did remarkably well and was transitioned out of the intensive care unit. I think it was a month or two later.
As he got better and we were able to wean off those medications, that's when I got to know Kyle.
Everyone in the hospital remembers Kyle. You can talk to the nurses on the wards. Everyone knows his name.
It was never, why did this happen to me attitude. Just, he was, a fighter and, just very, very grateful, very, very polite and appreciative and just very a great kid to work on. He really wanted to take care of him.
You think about going to the operating room either every day or every other day, general anesthesia, not feeling well and not eating well. It just gets flat out exhausting. But Kyle didn't complain. He was so stoic, through all of that. I honestly believe that Kyle made an effort to protect his family, his friends, and his fellow Marines. I don't think he wanted his fellow Marines to see him suffer, knowing that at some point they might be going off to war and they might be faced with the same type of challenge.
His mother had mentioned his smile early on, that he had the most beautiful smile. And I asked her to bring in pictures of Kyle prior to, so he had something to go by. And as time went by, it seemed like every time he came in, he started to look more and more like those photos. Even without, he went a long time without any lower teeth and missing quite a few upper teeth, but even without teeth, he seemed to manage a smile, and the smile just continued to, evolve into, what his eventually smile became.
No matter what, he always seemed happy to be alive and so thankful for everything that everyone was doing. He, at one point had so many bandages and external fixators all over him, he could barely get up, but the physical therapist and occupational therapist would push him to get up, and he would give 110% every single time. His attitude was really impressive.
Kyle really was very limited, very disabled for quite a while, and he has regained a lot of use, especially of his arms. One of the other things that happened with Kyle is that when the bomb went off, it blew a lot of mud very deep into his body, literally tattooing him. And he had just, for the longest time, he had dark streaks and things and spots in his face and all over his body. And over time, that dirt, for example, has worked its way out, the debris. And he still has some if you were to see Kyle. It's extraordinary that he is still walking and he's able to use his arms as well as he is. We
joke a lot, and with my assistant and Kyle, and there was a lot, actually a lot of laughter. I think we had some good times, but that's what we try to do.
You would never know what he's been through. All the injuries have started to fade over time, and they've become a part of him. He's proud of his injuries. We weren't even sure if what kind of function he was going to have with his hands, and he put in the time with the occupational therapist and spent a lot of time with the physical therapist, and has gained amazing dexterity of his fingers and his hands that we would have never expected.
He is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. He's kind, he's loving, he's a gentle spirit. Just a great guy. Not
many people are awarded, the Medal of Honor, so pretty impressive.
I was not surprised at all. He's incredibly deserving of this. It was exactly, even with a brain injury, it was exactly consistent with that personality, of always giving, always looking out for other people, was totally in line with his actions downrange. So I was not surprised, and I'm just thrilled for him.
If there's anybody in this world who will represent that Medal of Honor in the best possible way, that would be Kyle Carpenter. So extraordinarily proud to know Kyle, and so proud and appreciative that the president decided to give him that award.